Iron Man Tales of Suspense. As you know, I've been doing videos on Iron Man. Today, we're looking at 2 issues of Tales of Suspense. First appearance of the iconic, the best red and yellow Iron Man suit. It's awesome. It's awesome the way it's developed. But first, there is, of course, Tales of Suspense issue 47. But before we even start that, wanted to just show you guys, boom, I do have Iron Man #2, got my Iron Man 2 copy. So really, really excited about that. I've got Iron Man issue 3 and 5 are in the mail. But let's talk about Tales of Suspense 47. The Melter. This guy is awesome. These 2 issues that we're covering today are fire issues, man. If you're buying Tales of Suspense in this time period, you're having a good time. All right. I'll tell you that much. The Melter can actually melt Iron Man's armor. No, what is he going to do? The Melter. There he is. And he's got a little beam thing on his chest also. Okay. So the Melter is pissed at Tony Stark, as it goes with these comics, of course. It knocks him out. He's pissed off at him because he had developed this melting technology. It's all standard stuff. You can see him here making his device, melting this thing, puts on armor. It's very interesting because he has sort of a similar thing to Iron Man. I think the Melter and subsequently today, Mr. Doll, I think they actually would have been very good movies. And I have a lot to say on not just really the Iron Man films, but really the entire MCU structure. Maybe I'll do a separate video on that. Anyway, so he's developing his melting technology. There's Happy and Pepper. Now, Pepper loves Tony. Happy loves Pepper. And it's a bit of a banter, and she finds him really annoying. So it's pretty funny the way that they all kind of talk to each other. There's Tony, of course, he's injured. A lot of these comics rely on the trope of Tony is doing something, helping people, or inventing something. And then there's the villain is introduced very quickly as a quick origin. The villain then attacks Tony / Iron Man or whatever. He defeats Iron Man. Iron Man then has to do an upgrade or whatever to then come back and defeat the villain. This is your standard trope, and I actually really enjoy this. I think the movies should have been focusing on this as well. And then those in-between action bits, you can have some of the drama, and each movie could be a little bit different. Maybe Tony trying to see what's going on with Pepper, or maybe trying to help Happy out, or whatever. It could be maybe some government project he's working on. Like, they could easily do many Iron Man films and make them all like 90 minutes. Have a lot of Iron Man action, maybe a cool new feature, some sort of new weapon he has. Like, take the comics templates, So Melter comes here, he's destroying everything. The government's pissed at Tony. They're like, your stuff is not going anywhere. You've got exclusive rights to everything, so maybe you're kind of trying to be shady as well. So Iron Man's like, okay, I've got to confront the Melter here. But the Melter, as indicated, melts the crap out of his iron and defeats him. So this is your standard, page 7. Iron Man is defeated by the new villain of this issue, who he will get the upper hand on later. Tony manages to escape. He sees everything's melted. They're just like, sir, we're behind on stuff. So he really needs to upgrade his armor. He's now thinking, oh no, what happens if the Melter literally melts my mask off? So he has to come up with some sort of solution. They're upset, of course. That's Happy and Pepper right there. Tony goes to his little cottage, takes his car, drives over. Here's where the government starts to say, you've got a great record, but really you've been, really slacking, and we don't even know if we can trust you anymore. Typical comic stuff. The guy's a loyal, American-made man, billionaire, whatever, created all this great stuff for you, and now you're doubting him. Oh, you bastards. So the Melter definitely needs to go down. And here he is spying on Iron Man, busts through. He melts this stuff all over Iron Man. You can see it gets melted, and he kind of burns it off here. And he tries to use his melting abilities, but it doesn't work. And he's like, what is going on? He's caught off guard. And he gets nailed here. And then this thing's, oh no, it's going to fall on Pepper and Happy, because they're just standing up like right underneath this thing. Guys, come on, you got to do better. He saves them. Melter tries to take off. I'm taking off. But he gets trapped in this thing. He does melt. He does try to melt the ground, which is kind of neat. That's pretty good. He's like, I'll destroy the structure underneath you. Tony is able to like literally like yank the floor from him. He falls in to this sewer system and he's dead, and we never see the Melter again, and that is the end. No, that's of course that's not true. That is not true. Of course, come on. Tony is all back to normal and he's good, and yeah, everything's good. Production of his stuff can go back to full. All right, Tales of Suspense 48. This is now the first appearance of the iconic red and yellow costume. I personally love the Silver Centurion Iron Man, but there's no one out there who's not saying that this is really the best. Now, this is still a very early version of what you're going to come to know as the Iron Man costume. We're still a little bit away from what you're going to actually know as Iron Man, which would be like, this costume here, this costume Iron Man has is sort of your iconic, not generic, regular costume, right? Like the Secret Wars costume, right? Minus the blue. But yeah, the Secret Wars costume, that's what Iron Man is to me. That's the best version of Iron Man. So how does he get it? Well, let's take a look here. This issue's fire, in my opinion. I think this Mr. Doll character is very cool. Mr. Doll, now it's different here on the cover because you can see the doll is the old Iron Man suit, which we're going to get to. And then on here, he's got the new one. So what's going on? Let's take a look here. So Tony has some contracts with this other billionaire guy or millionaire, whatever they said it was at the time. And the doll, Mr. Doll, actually creates a voodoo doll of the person. So he actually has this magical artifact from some African tribe, it's some sort of voodoo tribe or something. He can maneuver it. So think of like Puppet Master, who actually makes puppets, but this guy has just this one artifact, and he can quickly, just by his imagination or whatever, quickly mold it into a person, and then he can control that person through pain, like a voodoo doll. He can like hurt the guy, he can punch it, whatever. So he's stealing money from some of the rich people, and Iron Man goes to stop him here. He quickly makes an Iron Man doll and hurts Iron Man and defeats him. He falls into the ocean and he's drowning, and he comes back out. Now, again, another trope. We're on page 6 or 7, probably page 5, and he's defeated again through Mr. Doll. So obviously we understand how these comics work. This is the same for Spider-Man. This is really the same for anybody. Daredevil, whatever. So they always have to they're always defeated in the first half of the comic, and then they're going to make a comeback, right? So Tony charges himself up, and he's extra vulnerable. I think what made Iron Man kind of a standout is that he's a little bit extra vulnerable. Like Steve Rogers is always Captain America, basically. Like even if he's not in the costume, it doesn't matter. Tony really relies on the suit itself. So it's like it's a fusion of the human elements and the armor and the technology. And I think that's what made Iron Man kind of a neat character who's, like Thor is always, he's Donald Blake. That's kind of a lie, but Thor is a mystical guy, right? So like, when he's Thor, he's Thor. Now when he's Donald Blake, then yes, he is Donald Blake. And at this time, they're still using Donald Blake or whatever. So anyways, but Iron Man's got that human factor, right? Okay. So this poor fellow signs over his fortune to Mr. Doll. Mr. Doll is after Tony Stark. Tony realizes that his costume is too bulky. It's too big. It drains a lot of energy. It's putting a lot of strain on his heart. He really needs to come up with something very thin, light, that can adapt. And this is his decision here. And you can actually see there's a panel here, which he can access his chest if he needs to. When he puts on his basically, he's putting on sections. So when he puts on his kind of gauntlet section, it actually forms up the rest of the sleeve and it clicks in. So it's like, okay, it kind of goes up, right? Click. And putting on the glove, and so it's like it extends around him. And it's done in seconds. So again, he puts his little anklet thing on his shin there, and it click makes the leg. And the boots, he steps into them. With this stepping in action, we've actually seen it in the films that way. It's kind of neat. I actually like the way that the 90s cartoon where the briefcase opened up and he stepped into it and it formed around him. I thought that was really neat. But this is so cool. Like this sort of like putting the suit on to get your full Iron Man costume. Again, it makes Iron Man very unique in the Marvel pantheon of heroes because you don't really see this. Like Thor just becomes magically Thor. Captain America is just clothing. Spider-Man is clothing. Daredevil. This is like the suit forming around him. So just a little extra coolness there for me, making Iron Man a bit more special that way. Okay, so they're trying to they send a guard here to guard Tony Stark because they think he's going to be next. Tony's like, I don't need a guard, I'm fine. But the guard stays anyway, so he pretends to like Pepper Potts and say, oh, I just want to talk to her alone in this kind of room. And Pepper's like, oh my God, you want to talk to me alone? He's like, yeah, no, that was all just an act. Thanks, Pepper. And she's like, oh, so she's all disappointed. He becomes Iron Man and goes after Mr. Doll. Now, Mr. Doll is actually a very crafty villain. He seems kind of goofy at first, but he's actually pretty formidable because he makes an Iron Man doll. So it's like, we got a new costume? Sure, I'll just make a new costume out of the doll. So he's like, and now he's hurting Iron Man. Iron Man's like, what in the shit? Like, I can still be hurt, right? So what's great about this issue? He lets Iron Man go because he thinks he's defeated him or has him pinned down. And he makes a Tony Stark doll. Now, he doesn't realize that Tony is Iron Man. So Iron Man is feeling the pain again. There's some great passages here about how Tony is just summoning inner strength to power through this pain. He doesn't have a thing to stop it. He's just powering through the pain. And he decides that if he unattaches his heart stuff, his chest plate stuff, his arc reactor, he can actually dull the pain because he won't feel anything, right? And that is sort of what he's going to do. So again, the vulnerability is there. He goes to charge himself up, but he powers through he does get through the pain, busts through, and the guy's like, okay. So he quickly makes the doll Iron Man again. And he's literally just going to drop it and like literally crush him, like let the doll fall. But Tony grabs this little gadget that he has, and it's able to transform the doll into Mr. Doll's like look or whatever, and then that falls, and Mr. Doll is defeated, and Tony says that he's won, takes off all of his gear, comes back, and there's Pepper pissed off because she never got that date, and there you go. And then we'll continue again with the next issues. So there you go, guys. That was Tales of Suspense. What a great series. And you're getting a Captain America story, and you're getting an Iron Man story. Hawkeye is going to appears in Tales of Suspense. I have Hawkeye's first appearance. So I've got a couple of issues of Tales of Suspense here and there. Tales to Astonish was something I was really into. But yeah, that is it for Iron Man for this video. I'm doing the 2-comic format for a little bit till I finish Tales. Once I get into the big premiere issue, where it's just Iron Man, his solo series, I will go back to the 1-comic format. I just want to get through these a little bit quicker because I know people really want to get to those Iron Man solo issues. That's where all like the really good stuff happens. These issues are amazing. I'm not rating them, but they're all 10 out of 10. Lots of action, great character stuff, really building out Iron Man. His rogues gallery is quickly forming. We already had Crimson Dynamo up here. Melter's pretty damn neat. So there's a lot of great guys being introduced. So it's been a lot of fun covering these particular issues. First time read for me for all of these. So it's been great. Please make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. And that is it. Thanks, guys. Until next.
Hey friends, you've just been listening to J-Man, and he is the smartest person who ever lived. So make sure you like and subscribe.